Yo, Salaam nerds! It's your boy Neebz, aka Watch with Neebz, and I'm here with Jazz, aka Jazzy Jeff. What's up?
Jazzy Jeff. Okay, all right. Is it because I got that DJ equipment back there? Or...
It is just because you got the DJ equipment today.
So
you know what it is? Have you ever seen the show Psych?
Yes.
On USA?
Uh-huh.
So you know how Sean Spencer always gives Gus like a fake nickname
every time.
I'm gonna start doing that with you because like I always say, hey, it's your boy Neebz, aka Watch with Neebz, and then you don't have an AKA, so I'm gonna start making them up for you. That's gonna be our new gimmick.
All right, let's do it. So today I'm DJ Jazzy Jeff. Got it.
Oh my
DJ Jazzy Jeff for today, and today we have a very special guest. So we've been talking about Moon Knight for like weeks now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? We really need to bring on some, Arab and North African representation on this show. So I happened to come across somebody on TikTok. We were talking about Ra's al Ghul. We were talking about Middle Eastern representation. And I was like, you know what? I would really like to have you on our podcast. So Desert Reviews, I reached out to him, and he said he would love to be on our podcast. And today we're going to get to talk about Moon Knight, and we're going to get some really good insights. So what's going on, DT? How are you?
Hey, man, it's DT here from Desert Reviews, and I just want to say thank you so much. By the way, Jazz, where the hell is the Fresh Prince? Anyway.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Who's my best friend? I guess I'd be Neebz by default, but you know what I just realized? Your name's Desert
Neebz,
Reviews. When Neebz presented to me, I thought it was Dessert Reviews. I was like, it's just occurring to me, it's Desert Reviews. I'm like, oh, that makes so much more sense.
Oh my god. You thought it was I've actually that is the second time I've actually gotten that.
Guys, we're just playing a prank on you guys. We are no longer a nerd culture show. We are now a food review show. We are a food podcast.
Hey man, it's popping, all right? All the new shows on Netflix, have you seen them?
Oh my
Yes,
god.
We're talking about baklava. That's what's up today.
Get some mithai, get some gulab jamun, get some jalebi up in here.
Yeah, man, let's go.
And kanafa. I can go for some right now, to be honest. Holy shit.
Oh,
just a nice
You know
drizzle
what?
of syrup on top. Oof.
All right, I know what I'm doing after this. Thank you.
But yeah, anyway, thank you for having me on the show. My name is DT. I'm a bit of a nerd culture reviewer who's trying to get more into talking about how actual culture influences nerd culture. Big time anime nerd, and follow me on TikTok if you'd like.
Yeah, what's your TikTok handle?
What's my TikTok?
Handle, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's Desert Reviews. It's the same.
Desert Reviews.
Yeah, it's Desert Reviews. Yeah,
Not Dessert Reviews.
not dessert. Reviews.
Not to be confused with Dessert Reviews.
Oh my god.
You know what we should do? Next week, bring on Dessert Reviews and confuse everybody.
You know, if I ever get invited back to this show, I'm just gonna be eating like a new dessert every single time. Just like eat a cake if I get invited back, and then come back and with some baklava or some shit like that.
That'll be really, really funny. We should definitely do that. Honestly, next time it'll be we'll just have desserts and we'll talk about Moon Knight.
It'll be Eid. It'll be like a day or two after Eid. We can have a lot of desserts on here.
Oh, I could just feel it.
Really confuse people.
I don't know, man. It's food makes you feel good, but you know what doesn't make you feel good? Your mom telling you she hates you. So let's talk about Moon Knight.
Oh god, that episode, I was not expecting it. That hit me. That shit hit me.
Jazz is laughing at my transition.
Oh my god.
That's such a tragic thing, and you made it a transition like that.
Mother hitting. Holy shit.
The entire show starts off with her mom just like yelling at her kid, and then like they go into what happened last week. So really, like, you get like 2 seconds of it, and you're like, "What the hell was that?" And then you just dive into them in the insane asylum, and they're with Taraweeh, who's the hippo god, and of like what women and children and
Love, yeah.
right?
Yeah, love, fertility, and children.
Love, fertility, and children, and. Whenever I saw the hippo, the only thing I could think of is the hippo from Madagascar. That's all I think about when I see her.
But yeah, no, this episode was just wow, man. That was
it got deep. I was shocked.
Yeah, that's just like, I mean, I could not believe what I was seeing, and holy crap. Okay, do you mind if I say one? Like, are we allowed to speculate on the show?
Yeah,
Of course.
Like,
yeah. I mean, we don't have
I mean,
spoilers, so whatever. We can say whatever you want. We don't know anything.
okay, so here's the thing. Like, I was looking at the show itself, and like, there was one moment that bugged me. Like, I feel like I'm not Steven, sorry. I feel like Mark was set up from childhood, from the beginning. Like, he was just set up to have a screwed up life. And I think it was Khonshu who did it.
Yes.
Because when, like, what's it called? You see that one scene, they're going into the cave, and then, like, you know, they're like, oh, mom said not to play when it was wet. And then Steven steps on a bird skull that looks almost exactly like Khonshu.
Yes.
And I'm just sitting there like, this man just got screwed from the beginning.
Yeah.
He had no chance at all. Holy shit, man.
And I think that's one of the storylines in the comics, that Khonshu was aware of Mark as a child. He knew about him since then. I think that actually is canon in the comics. Whether he actually, you know, manipulated and orchestrated all of this stuff to happen is up to, you know, us to speculate. But he's known of him for a while. So yeah, that's really interesting, man.
I can see Disney taking a creative liberty there and using Khonshu to come back in the past and manipulate all of it. Because although it's not in the comics, Disney, well, Marvel, they are getting a little creative with the whole show. And so if they are going to do a line like that, I can totally see them doing something that messed up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you know.
But from all the shows that Disney have done, this is the most creative. Like, I love the direction it's going to. The way they told his origin story. Like, you don't get an origin story until episode 4, right, or 5. And it's crazy how you find out, like, this history. And, like, this is not what the story is in the comics. In the comics, basically, Mark's rabbi ends up being a serial killer, and that's what triggers his, like, DID. But this story is completely done and created by Muhammad Diad, and it's completely unique to the MCU, and it's so much better in my opinion. It's really deep. It's really like give you a sense of like emotions when you're watching it. Also, the actress, I hate that lady. Like, I hate her so much, but the actress was so good. I think her name is Fernanda Andrade is her name. She was so good because like I hate her so much.
When she got that belt, I was like, oh no, fuck you. Like, no, don't you dare.
That brought up some memories, man, as soon as I saw that shit.
It's okay, brother. We've all been there. We're going to break the trauma. We're going to break generational curse of passing it on to our kids. It's fine.
Oh, God.
It was wild. But, like, one of the things that, we really got to see that I thought was really cool, and a lot of people were asking for it, is they finally got to see Mark's Jewish heritage, which people were really upset about because they thought we were not going to get it at all. And this episode, they showed a lot of it. His father, Elias, they showed him. They showed the Shiva. They showed him wearing the yarmulke. Like, they really went into it. They were like, they gave people what they wanted. I'm really happy for the Jewish community getting the representation. It's good, man, because like we want representation, so like we need to support other people when they get representation. So I think that's really, really cool. But it's pretty interesting because like you see the mother and the father's dynamic, and like you see like she never forgave him, like ever, right? Even like birthdays when he's a teenager, like. And she never, and like Steven has such a great memory of her, and like it's so funny because like generally like you think that somebody with DID, right, they created this personality to protect them. They would create a stronger, bigger personality, right? But instead they chose Steven. They went the other route, and it's so interesting to me that like Steven is not the mercenary, not this big badass. He's this sensitive, lovable, smart, gullible guy and a little bit naive, and that's the personality that Mark chose to protect him, which I think is very interesting. You don't see that often.
I kind of feel, honestly, like, I mean, it is an interesting dynamic, but when you think about it, like, it just, one thing doesn't make sense to me about Steven and his personality. Okay, so the scene where she's about to bust out the belt, okay? Here's one thing I don't get. Steven still sees him and still sees her in a good light at that moment, like past that moment. You know, good memories. But yet, he's the one that takes the beatings.
You're right.
Like, that's what I found weird. Like, I was just like, he didn't take the beating.
So,
it was Steven who
here's
took the
why.
beating.
Steven isn't a personality that just like switches in and out. Steven is the stronger personality that's not the one he just like swaps out with. He's a personality that is the personality Mark would have had if the mom wasn't like that. And so it's a coping mechanism for him. It's not like, yes, Steven was the one who got hit, but that Steven won't remember it because that Steven thinks of is the personality that didn't experience any of it. Right? So the real Mark is hiding, and Steven is the one experiencing it, but Steven won't remember this because Steven is always going to be the perfect version of himself.
So what you're saying is it's kind of like, it's almost like a bit of it constantly resets or something like that. Like his memory resets. Or it could be like more of a bit of like a proto Steven in a sense. Like as in like this was
proto would be a good word for it.
Yeah. Because they did mention that Steven and Mark didn't start clashing until the funeral. The funeral, when they started becoming aware of each other, right? And when he started, I guess, sleepwalking and doing all these weird things. So it happened 2 weeks prior to what we've been watching. So before that, they've been going their entire lives. Well, Steven has been going his life, not knowing about it. Mark seems to be been aware of it the whole time, I think. Which is
and although they've hinted at it yet, right? We don't even know if Steven was the personality there that got beat. It could have been one of the other personalities that experienced it, and they're just trying to hide that right now.
It could have been.
I mean,
It could have been,
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little disappointed though, because that scene where like, you know, they're standing out in front of the door and they were just like, hey, whose memory is that? Do you remember being out on the street? And then Steve is just like, I thought that was Jake at first because he was like literally next to a car. And I was just like, God damn it, we don't see Jake Lockley yet.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to show him next episode either. I think this is going to be a thing for next season.
So the rumor is that we did see Jake Lockley. There is a part in the scene where Mark comes back to the office and he's got this like scar on his nose and a bandage on his nose all of a sudden. And he starts talking in a New York accent, right? Mark doesn't have a New York accent. Steven doesn't have a New York accent. But then all of a sudden he starts talking like somebody from Brooklyn or Staten Island, and he starts like grabbing, he's really forceful, and he grabs this like white shard or like a glass shard and starts charging them, and he's super aggressive. So the rumor is that was Jake Lockley right before he gets hit with the syringe and they sedate him. That was Jake Lockley. But somebody asked Mohammed Diad on Twitter if that was Jake Lockley. Can you confirm this is Jake Lockley? And he said no. But it's confusing because did he say no, that's not Jake Lockley? Did he say no, that I will not confirm it?
It's no, he will not confirm it. That has to be Jake.
That's the thing. I mean, when it comes right down to it, Marvel always loves keeping everything close to their chest.
Yeah.
Let's face it. They got pissed off with Spider-Man No Way Home on that shit. Yeah. So they're probably going to try to keep it hush-hush.
Yeah.
Okay, but that was like the biggest open secret ever. Like, there's no way like they could have hidden that too long.
No, definitely not. But so I think Jake Lockley, that might have been him, and I think. But the thing is, like, there is so much more that needs to happen, and we only have one episode left. It's crazy how they're going to fit all of this in one episode. And
they're not. It's going to be.
They're not going to fit
man.
Jake. They can't fit Jake at all.
You think so?
No,
not at all.
I don't think so. No, because that would just like what purpose would Jake actually serve?
Well,
that's the thing. And
then that's the theory about Chekhov's gun, right? If you have a gun, you have to fire it. And we saw the third sarcophagus, right? So like they got to show us in the third sarcophagus, unless it's going to be an end credit scene, and you find out it's Jake at the very very end. To set up like season 2 or to set up like Blade, you know, like that he's going to work with Blade and Black Knight. That's possible.
Yeah, that's probably what it's going to be. Like that, like, you know, I mean, yeah, Chekhov's gun, but like I think that's what they're going to use as a setup for the third season. And I think possibly, I'm not third season, second season, possibly for a second season, I think Mark is going to try to fit. Either two things are going to happen in this episode. In the next episode, Khonshu is going to give Mark Steven back. That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or B, the next season is going to be about how they get Steven back, like from what was it? I can't.
The Field of Reeds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, he's not in the Field of Reeds. He's in the sand right now. He's in hell, basically.
He's like Bing Bong.
Oh, Steven is, but Mark isn't.
He's like Bing Bong from Inside Out. You know when Bing Bong with the imaginary guy and he gets left behind?
Oh God.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. It's kind of messed up, literally.
Yeah.
Like, I have a feeling that Steven's going to come back with major resentment towards Mark. Like, I mean, let's face it, that's every single villain story. You left me behind to rot and suffer.
I don't think so. I
Hey,
think Steven is like...
His scale's balanced.
I feel like Steve is too kind for something like that. But you know what's really cool? When Steve gets frozen in like that rock fan formation, it's the same stance that Crawley has when he was like a statue in gold. When he's a statue in gold, he's making the same exact hand motion like this.
Interesting.
So foreshadowing there.
Shit, actually, yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was really cool.
Shoot.
And then, speaking of these stands and stuff, they also talked about like this is like one plane, but they also talked about another plane, which was the ancestral plane from Black Panther. So the cool little Black Panther, which we'll reference in there, because Boss, who is the god from Black Panther, is supposedly going to be in the new Black Panther movie. They're going to have, I think somebody's actually playing the voice of him and everything.
Who knows?
Man.
So that was pretty cool.
Holy crap. I still feel bad for Steven, man. Honestly, like that is just
screwed.
He literally, his whole purpose was to suffer, and then he's going to suffer even more. He's basically trapped in hell right now.
Mm-hmm.
He just got a shit deal. And you know, one thing that I suspected was like, you know, when they place the two hearts on the scales and they're trying to balance it with the feather and whatnot. I thought if it was, what I found weird was that like they took off Steven's heart. I thought that was Steven's heart that they took off. And then the scale was perfectly balanced. And he's just like, oh yeah, I'm in paradise and whatnot. I'm like, Mark, I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, half of the crap that you did, people deserved it. Granted. But there's no way you deserve eternal paradise for the shit you've done.
Yeah.
I mean, legit.
But you know what I think it is? I think that the thing was there were supposed to be 3 hearts, right? And that's why it was unbalanced. And then once Steven died, the 2 hearts made sense because there's 2 personalities that are left. So it was never balanced.
But there was no second heart.
What? There's 2 hearts.
Because
there's 2 hearts and there's 2 personalities left once Steven died.
Oh.
So like 50-50.
Yeah, so because if they started with 3 hearts, if they opened that third sarcophagus, they would have been balanced the whole time, but they never opened it. So because of that, it was always left unbalanced.
Oh my God, that actually makes sense too, because they were forced to confront their memories and their possible memories that Mark has hidden from both himself and from Steven that Jake probably has.
Yep. And one of the theories is that there is no Bushman, that the person who killed all of the people was actually
It's Jake. I believe it. 100% I believe it.
I'm not sure, because like they already casted Bushman, I think. They already have him in the
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they've got him in the credits. Like, I think they have him in the credits. Grain of salt here, but I think like they had Bushman listed in the casting credits. Like if you go to IMDb,
I don't know. It could be a red herring though. You never know.
I'm looking it up.
It could be somebody named Bushman, but it still could have been Jake who did it, because Jake's got to be holding some kind of secret, or else then it makes sense not to have Jake at all, because then he has no point. But if he's holding a big secret, that would be the big conclusion. That would be the big gotcha moment.
Oh my
God. There are rumors there. I can see that too. Then okay, that makes sense.
But one cool thing that I noticed about that is that like when they brought in his brother Randall, you see him coloring, and he colors a fish with just one fin, which is like reminiscent of what Steven had,
Yeah.
which I thought was pretty cool. And then when you see the scene where he's about to get beat, you see a framed picture of that fish in his wall. So he like really misses his brother and stuff like that.
God.
Which like, it was so sad. But apparently his brother is a real character in the comics. He actually becomes his enemy, right? He becomes Shadow Knight, which is pretty interesting. So I don't know, maybe we'll see that in the future.
Actually, I'm surprised. I actually didn't know that. Like, I mean, I knew about what's it called? What was it? The Other Fist of Khonshu, who I want to see come out. What's his name? Hunter's Moon. I knew about Hunter's Moon, but I didn't know about. I didn't know that Steven actually had a brother. To be honest,
that's what they said. So, like, DT. So the thing that I want to talk about, like what I really want to talk about is the Arab representation, right? And me and Jazz have been talking about it for a while, and basically every episode about how much we love it. But like we could only relate to it so much, right? Like we have like, our cultures are adjacent, but they're not the same, right? Like because of Islam, we share a lot of cultural similarities, but it's not the same, right? And I feel like you could probably give so much more insight about some of the stuff, right? Especially the music, because like the music is phenomenal. Like the music in this episode, they said the song was called Sat Sat by Saba, and it means I am happy, sometimes I am sad, and it's from the movie The Night the Moon Cried, which is like so. Like,
oh my God!
It's so good. It's so good. Like,
it is.
The thought that they put behind this, it's fantastic.
Like, I kid you not, though, when getting to that point about the music. So, like, my mother, she was in the room when I was watching Moon Knight. Like, I was just chilling, watching Moon Knight, and I swear to God, as soon as she heard the music, she started dancing. She was just like, what is this? What is this show? I'm like, it's Moon Knight. And I was like, why are they, what's it called? Why are they using Arabic music? I'm like, oh, it takes place in Egypt. And she was like, that is so amazing. I absolutely love this. Because it was like songs that actually she grew up with during her childhood.
Really?
And I was just like, oh my God. I swear to God, it was just so crazy.
That's amazing.
And it was just like, and something else I found pretty funny was like, here's the thing. So I was watching an episode one day, and you know that episode where like where he he's in the cab at one point and he speaks speaks Arabic. All right. So my mother was like, is he Arab? And I was just like, no. And he's like, holy shit, I thought he was. He almost spoke it perfectly.
Wow.
And it was like, apparently.
All right,
like,
Oscar Isaac, good for you, bro.
Well, yeah, I mean, shoot. Like, speaking about Oscar Isaac, I mean, speaking about, like, the Arabic and all that, I actually, like, as I watched the show, I actually, you mind if I bring this up? Because I think I told you about this. Good. I have a bit of a headcanon / personal theory about Mark, in a sense. Okay, so here's the thing, all right? I personally think that Mark Spector is Moroccan Jewish, all right? So here's the thing. In Morocco, mostly the predominant population is Muslim, but we actually have a rather large Jewish population living there too. People who were born there, raised there, etc. And in fact, prior to like a long time ago, during World War II, when Morocco was occupied by Germany, a lot of Jewish people took asylum in Morocco because the king refused to sell them out. He was just like, there aren't any Jewish people here. I don't know what the hell you're going to talk about. You have no ways of identifying them, so they're going to stay here. So my personal theory is, because like I think Mark's father or his grandfather was a Holocaust survivor in the comics. Don't hold me to it. Don't hold me to that. So I personally think that Mark's grandfather was a Moroccan Jew from Morocco. Was a Moroccan Jew. He came to this country, and the reason why Mark speaks really good Arabic is because he learned it due to his Moroccan heritage.
Interesting.
And that's part of the reason why I think so. And now also, he's a bit more, he's a bit more tan.
Right.
Yeah, the dad was definitely way more tan than I thought he would be. So yes.
Yeah, and especially when they were showing him as a kid, I was just like, yeah, he could definitely pass as Moroccan for sure. He could definitely pass.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, it's been a personal theory of mine.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe.
I believe it. Cosign, dude. I like that theory.
Yeah, because like I mean, honestly, I feel like it would be a good way to represent Jewish people as well as represent Arab people further, and also like it kind of shows that there's like a whole diversity amongst the Jewish community. You know, so it would kind of like shine a light on that diversity in a sense, because like again, there are Nigerian people who are Jewish. So, you know,
I know Ethiopia has a big Jewish community.
Jewish. Yeah. I think it would just be an interesting concept to throw in there, show diversity amongst Jewish populations.
For sure, man.
And
go ahead, Jess.
No, yeah, I was going to say that just like shows like how diverse the Arab culture actually is. It's not really just like they're all Muslims. Like, no, they're everyone. They're not a monolith. So
yeah,
this show's going to
monolith.
Yeah, if this is going to like progress that, I think that's fantastic.
I love that these shows take the opportunity to showcase as many cultures as they can. Right? Like you see, like Wakanda, they didn't just show like people from Kenya or Tanzania, where like Wakanda is technically geographically located, but they showed people from like all types of Africa. Right? They took that opportunity to say, hey, this is like based on all these different types of tribes. And then when you see like Moon Knight, they don't just speak Arabic; they also speak Coptic. They also speak like, you know, English, they speak French. They throw a little bit of everything in there, right? Which is what like different types of people and different types of tribes in these areas would be speaking, which I think is really cool way to show representation. Because who knows when we'll ever get another Moon Knight? Who knows when we'll never ever get another chance for something to be.
Is season 2 not confirmed?
Not that I know of.
I mean, hey, we're getting there. We're getting there. I mean, Moon Knight is a good start. Miss Marvel is definitely going to hit it out of the park in terms of like, you know, more Islamic diversity. But yeah, I mean, I think this is like, you know, part of the floodgate to showing Islamic/Arab culture.
And one of the things that I really like about this is that like once Marvel opens the floodgates, like you just said, there's going to be no going back. Like right now, Christopher Nolan is coming out with a movie called Oppenheimer. It's like freaking all white people, right? And it's coming out the same day as the Barbie movie, and people rather see the Barbie movie because like it's the more diverse cast. It's got Simu Lee, it's got like all these other people, and it's got like people of color, and people are like, listen, man, I know Christopher Nolan is a goat. He's awesome. I love him, but like, do I really want to see a movie with like a bunch of white people in black and white? Like I don't know. Or I can just watch this fun movie, you know, called the Barbie movie, and you know, see people that look like me. I don't know. It's interesting.
Okay. So we're going to watch the Barbie movie. Got it.
I am watching the Barbie movie that first weekend. And the second weekend, maybe I'll watch Oppenheimer.
This movie really is representing everybody.
Hold on.
This is going to be cool.
Is this an animated movie or is this like an animated
No, it's live action.
Oh my God. What the? Wait, so what are they?
Barbie beats a Christopher Nolan movie called Oppenheimer. That would be so hilarious.
We'll see. I'm just wondering because, like, I'm hoping to God that, like, I hope to God it actually beats out Oppenheimer now. Because that would just be something. That would just be worth laughing. That would just be worth the laughs, right?
Okay, I think that's a good time to call it a day for the first episode. But check us out for next week's episode, or check us out for tomorrow's episode where we're going to talk about CinemaCon. So check us out. And until then, Salaam nerds, guys. Salaam nerds.